What's going on, Hits fam? It's your girl, Kimmy B, hanging out on the white couch in the Hits Penthouse studio with a Miami guy. I know you're from New York, but we're going to call you Miami guy because you now reside in the 305.
I do.
Mr. Judah Holiday. So welcome to the New Hits 97.3.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's super exciting to have you here. Now, first of all, Judah, I'm just going to let you kind of do a little backstory on yourself if you'd like to for our Hits family out there that may not know your journey. Obviously, I said you were from New York, so I'm assuming that's where your love for music kind of started, yes?
Definitely, yeah.
So go ahead and tell them how that all came about, and then we'll get to how you ended up here in the 305.
I basically spent my entire life pursuing a music career through high school and college. I never was academically strong, and I figured if I just continued down this path of just like failing all the time, somehow my parents will just be like, all right, just let him do it, you know? And that's literally what happened. Until I moved to Miami, I wanted a change of pace. It was like really intense. I get anxiety. Like the city is too busy for me sometimes in my brain. Like it's not. So I just needed to go where people drive slower and like sometimes too slow, you know. And I became one of those people. But I moved here in 2011, pursued music, like just constantly played with open mics, like in biker bars, like the worst possible places to like expose your music, but just doing it for practice and then like one thing led after another, and like I just did not stop. And then luckily finally somebody came along and they were like, hey, this is really dope, let's work together. And
I love it. First of all, rewind. Biker bars?
Yeah,
that just sounds like it would be dangerous for your health.
I think it was dangerous for my health. All the cigarette smoke, it was like before they stopped, started banning it.
I'm also saying if they didn't like your music, I mean, aren't they, those can be some pretty rowdy crowds,
yeah,
no?
But like, you know, like starting out and really committing to doing this,
yeah.
Like you need to just take whatever you could get.
Well, that's amazing. And obviously you're still here, so they must have liked it.
They
because
did.
Something tells me you probably would have ended up in a back alley in New York City somewhere if
I'm
they didn't.
Here.
But you are, which is a great testament to your abilities. Now, are you an instrumentor? Do you play things?
Yeah.
Pause. No?
Pause. I do. I play guitar and I sing and I play piano.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So when did you start? Are you self-taught or?
Yeah. So when I was very young, I started like banging on pots and pans as a.
You were meant to be
kid.
In Miami. My
right.
God. Do you live in Hialeah?
No. But you know, like growing up, I just like took an interest in guitar playing, and then in 2001, after 9/11, I combined like a poem and a melody and wrote my first song, which was awful, but it was my first song. So, but like, you know, like it's weird because I am that type of guy who gets anxious and concerned, but like I never stopped pursuing music despite like what others thought about it. And it was just like, it's hard to describe that like desire of seeing like what comes next when like zero people are almost like on your side, but still persevering through it. So
I'm sure your story though resonates with so many young musicians or people who are just passionate about doing something that most would deem unattainable, right? Because
totally.
We're constantly told, despite the fact that, you know, you have a song like Lil Nas X's Old Town Road that just made history,
right.
And he bought the damn beat for $30 off of, you know, YouTube basically, right? It's attainable, folks. Clearly it's attainable, but we continue to kind of try to press upon young minds especially that, you know, certain paths are not viable, right? Like that you're a dreamer or, you know, that'll never happen for you. And it's not an easy thing to overcome other people's doubts.
Totally. And it's also hard to, you know, trust yourself completely and go against, you know, all the people that were around you for so long. Not to say that they'll write you off, but it's a very scary process to pursue something like creative that really relies on a lot of like luck and being at the right place at the right time, but it's a full-time job. Like you need to be willing to like be poor for a while in order to like do this, because you just can't you can't like be everywhere but also be working a 9 to 5. You need to be able to, be able to do an interview during the day at a certain time. Like, you know what I mean?
Shots fired. You're messing with my 9 to 5, Kimmy B. Just kidding. Judy, you've mentioned multiple times, the fact that you have anxiety. And we're hearing a lot more artists start to talk freely and openly about their personal struggles, right? With, whether it's anxiety, depression, fear of failure, a lot of things. And it's ironic that we would choose this career path, right, which is immersed in judgment, right, as anxious people, as people who battle or struggle with things. But I feel like that creative outlet is such a release that it makes it all worth it. Is that right? Because it's kind of like we keep hearing these stories about people that are in The Rock. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And it just seems like whatever they're producing at the end kind of surpasses whatever fears and internal battles they have.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show that the desire like outweighs the fear in the end, because you still do it. And it's rough a lot of the time, but like nothing's ever happened to me in a panic attack. Like they suck and they're scary, but like I've had them for so long that I know nothing really happens. So like I can't fool myself. Like I just push through it, and there are many things I do, but I'm glad that like I'm one of the people that is open about these issues, and like I'm still able to do things
for sure, like write great music. Hello. Yeah. Is that a cathartic process for you? Does that help you a lot, just sitting down and just writing and getting it out? Do you write from that personal place where it's all things that have happened to you or that you're feeling?
Yeah, it's sort of selfish, my writing process, because I don't go into it like thinking like, let me write a song that'll like work right now for others. Like it's the only type of creative thing that I do that makes me feel better. That's creative, and I'm going to take that for myself and hope that after I'm done writing, somebody, like jives with it, which has been the case, which is good. But it's important to like, I always write from things that have happened, and like that's just how it's always been. I have so many things on my mind to write about that like I need to get it all out, and that's really what my process is I have a feeling, and before I really do anything else, I generally try and write something down.
I love that you said you're selfish about your writing process.
Yeah, I mean, just to be honest.
I know, but it's, how do you write for somebody else? I feel like you have to write, I mean, people I'm sure do, but for you, writing like, from that personal place is what's going to make people connect. It's
kind of like if you go, so going into like a writing session with other artists, you might be like, hey, let's write a song that's like about, or like that's like this, or this just happened, and it's kind of like, yeah, but you remember like what that waiter said to me, like how he said this and that, like I can't stop thinking about that. So like you need to just like go in and whatever, and like it's sort of like it's freeing. Like there's no rules. Like I don't have to make anything up. Like everything I say is a truth. Like it's a great position to be in, to just be completely open about the things that you do. You don't have to like think twice about it. You just say what happens, and like that's it.
That's so cool. Like I don't know, we've talked to a lot of singer-songwriters, but is that your favorite part of the whole process? Is it the writing? Is it the getting in the studio and recording? Is it the live performance?
I think I love live performance most.
Really?
I think so. Cuz I don't like being alone in the studio. Then I like start questioning myself, and so like, well, Josh, my manager, is usually always with me. He's like my.
Do you try to like gauge his face when you're in the booth and you're laying something down? Like, oh, that was.
Yeah, but he's like doesn't get angry. So he's like got a permanent smile. It's like annoying.
Damn it, Josh! We need a little better feedback.
Yeah, exactly. Like Josh's wife Danielle, who's my great friend, is a great person to bounce ideas off too.
Gotcha.
And my wife, because they won't sugarcoat things. Just be like, no.
See, never mind, Josh. Leave it to the women.
Yeah, that's the truth.
We always know best.
Yeah.
We keep it real.
You guys do keep it real.
So the live performance part, talk to me about that.
So what I like most about it is that you hear the fact that I don't sing on key every single second. I'm at times funny and at times awkward and just like raw. Like I don't like manicured things. You know what I mean? Like if you ask my wife what my style is, she'd be like, he's weathered. Like, that's what she would say.
I love that, though.
But like, I didn't know if I would ever get to be able to pursue music as a career, which I am now able to do. And I knew that the whole time that if that ever happened, I would always make sure to, like, I just can't do it any other way. Like, I can't, we had like this whole thing, we were thinking about making my set a little bit more bouncy and adding a couple of like backing tracks. Like, I was just like, no, like, I don't want it. I want it to just be what I do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because when I go on YouTube, I'll always search like a live performance before like a music video. So like, I'm not trying to, like, I'm not no Celine Dion, but who cares? You know what I mean? Like,
you're a purist.
Yeah.
I'm definitely with that. And there's one thing, we do a lot of things, they're called hit sessions, and they're usually acoustic sets. So we'll do an interview in front of a live audience, and then normally the artist will perform for us, right? And we're obviously a top 40 radio station, so a lot of that is pop. So a lot of that means production, or at least it used to mean a lot of production. So you always had your fingers crossed, right, when it came to somebody with a piano and a guitar, and what is this going to sound like?
Totally.
And I'm always blown away, or I have been blown away so many times, because that's a true testament of an artist, is if they can sit down with it kind of all stripped away.
Yeah, because I like the production of my records, and I love sitting in the studio and producing beats and different things like that. But back to like when it was like, when I was like just starting out, and it's just like an acoustic guitar, it's like creating something valuable out of thin air. That's what it is. And like, that's kind of cool, I think. Like, not needing anything but like a guitar and your mouth. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's making music.
Yeah.
That is the fundamental,
so that's definitely like my favorite
what
part,
it is.
For sure.
Oh, I love it. Well, we'll have to have you here for a little acoustic set of something. He may sing off key, but hey, that's the beauty of Judah Holiday.
That's right.
That's the goodness of it. And honestly, it changes the feel of a song when you hear it that way, right? You hear it with production. Production is amazing. We can vibe out. We can turn up. We can do all of those things. But when you hear a song stripped down, it just connects with you in a different way, right?
Yeah.
Now let's talk, because you've got a busy rest of 2019.
I do.
You're supposed to be releasing an album.
I am.
In November.
Yep.
You told me before we started this interview, you have no idea what the F you're going to call it.
That's right.
How does that happen?
How the F did that
I always
happen?
thought that people had the no, am I crazy? I guess I just don't know this music process thing.
I mean, I try and stay like relaxed and on the back lines. Like, I have a great team around me that helps me, with different things. And like, I just feel like when it comes down to the day where they're like, oh, what's the album called? We'll just like get together and be like, let's just call it that. Like, what's the point of just like going back and forth? Like, really, it doesn't really matter, because like no one's going to know anyway what we were like thinking about. Just pick a name and like, let's just do it. Like, what if we didn't think so hard about whether to call it track 8 or my name? You know what I mean? Like, that's just literally what I'm trying to do.
Bro, do you know emojis, Judah? Are you an emoji guy?
Sort of.
You know the one with the brains that are going...
Yeah, totally. That
is what you're doing to me right now.
Really?
I am using the like mind-blown emoji. I am the mind-blown emoji.
That's so sweet.
I say that because I feel like artists in the past have actually used not having the perfect title for their album as an excuse to not drop music. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be such a structured process.
I know.
Right? You'd come to the table, there'd be a big meeting room. It was the label people, and it was like, this is what everything's going to sound like, and this is who you're going to work with, and we need X amount of tracks, and you have to drop them on this day.
Right.
And I feel like we've just kind of said, you know what? Forget the machine. Forget that. I feel like we're sliding into a more authentic space where people want it real. They don't want this, like you said, a manicured, produced version of what other people think fans want to hear.
Totally. And the label that I'm signed with is also like, they realize that I also have good input. Like, I'm the one that's written and played all these songs. So like, it's a very collaborative process when we release things, and I really trust everyone that I work with, and it's very few people that I work with, but they're all amazing. So like, so that's really like the way that we put things out. Like, we think about it, whether it's good or not. Like, who knows? Like, only the streams will tell, or like the amount of like, just like get it out there, and then if it's a flop, which it's been like ever since 2018, basically for me. Like you just got to keep pushing things out, and then something will stick. The reason things don't stick is because you stop throwing it.
Got you.
You know what I mean? Like just keep throwing.
Exactly. I'm picturing pasta.
Keep throwing S at the wall.
Yeah. It's like when you're cooking your pasta.
Yeah.
And you throw it on the ceiling.
And
to
that's
make sure
how you know if it's done.
Yeah. It sticks.
Totally sticks.
It keeps falling off the freaking ceiling.
It's not
you
ready.
gotta keep cooking your pasta.
Totally.
Okay. Well, hopefully these next songs start sticking to the ceiling, right?
God willing,
That's what we're doing.
We're going to still throw pasta regardless.
We're still throwing pasta. That's, bro.
Yeah.
Moving forward, when I see you in another year or so, I'm going to be like, you still throwing pasta?
Yeah.
Like,
that's our secret thing.
We still throwing pasta. That should be an industry thing. Like, that should be like the next,
pasta.
Yeah, the phrase. So we don't have a title, but it's coming out in November. You have tracks, though, right?
Yeah, they're all done.
I just wanted to make sure you weren't like,
No, it's all done.
It's all a conceptual thing. It's all living in my brain right now.
No, it's all done. It's just like, like at the end, because it's easy to just call it one of the names of the songs.
And
but
the songs have names.
Yeah, of course. Everything's done.
Okay.
It's just like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of like a set list. Like, a lot of times I'll just decide what to play. I'll decide to skip songs. And, because, like, who cares? That's the truth. Like...
I love it. Like, you're the person that, because that's a thing, though, at concerts.
What?
Like, the first show, people mark the set list, and then it makes its way around all social media channels, and then people go, and it's like they know how long the show's going to be, because they're like, no, they have 2 songs left, because they've got the set list.
Right.
Not with Judah Holiday, folks.
That's right.
It's one big smorgasbord and surprise.
That's right.
Like, he'll be like,
corned beef and pastrami and all that.
You thought that was coming, but it's not. I like it. Keep them on their toes, Judah.
That's right.
Keep them on their toes.
Keep it spicy here in Miami.
Now, All That I Got Tonight is a song that's out now, doing really well.
It is, yeah.
Is that going to be the vibe of the rest of the album?
No, actually. It's actually one of the only like dancey EDM songs that I have, and it's a perfect example of me not really caring about fitting in. I put anything that I want on the album because like I feel like it's good, and so like you'll get judged regardless. So you might as well put out what you like.
Amen. And honestly, I think that we're in a space now where people listen. We were talking about this the other day, me and the night guy here at the New Hits 97.3. Alp, what's up?
Hey, Alp.
How we're in this space where people listen to everything.
Right.
Right? I think Post Malone is kind of a great example of that. You're talking about a guy who just put Ozzy Osbourne and Travis Scott on a track together.
Right.
Right? Like, and I'm sure there are kids out there that are going, who is Ozzy Osbourne? Right? And then there's other people going, who the hell is Travis Scott?
Right.
But the point is, it's like, that's the beauty of music.
Right.
And the more chances we take, the better the music's going to be, because otherwise it just becomes stagnant and stale, and it's the same old thing over and over and over again. And who the hell wants that? Because that's when we end up going, I feel like I've heard this song before.
Totally. So I just put, like, I don't know, we had like probably 15 or 18 songs. Like
wow.
I've always heard people say, like, I wrote 100 songs for the album. If I had 100 songs, trust me, 12 won't make the album. I'd have like about 70 out.
He'd have a compilation album.
I mean,
like,
songs are valuable. Who are we to say that they're not going to work? Like, put it out and see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, if you have material, you never know what somebody's going to like or not like. And, and we're like big fans of just like constantly releasing new music and not really... giving people what they want, not developing like this pipe that's like backed up and I can't put it out for whatever it is.
I feel like, though, honestly, you're kind of at the front of a groundbreaking movement, because it's seeming like more artists are trying to slide into that space of, releasing whenever it's done and just kind of dropping stuff. And yeah, we're working on an album, but I'm going to give you pieces before we get to that place, as opposed to making you wait 3 years in between new music.
I just hated it. I'm a fan of music, and like I just couldn't stand it. Keep in mind also, like 10 years ago, it was much harder to do what we're doing now, which is like release so quickly, all the platforms, one click. But like now it's almost like we have a responsibility to like keep our fans entertained, and like the amount of time it took to go into a studio and record a full album, like now it should be like a month apart, I think. So, like, that's just, like, what we're doing. And if other people like to do it that way, too, that's great, too. It's just, like, I don't have, like, I've got, like, a short attention span. It's just, like, let's make a song, release it, see what happens, and get to the next one. Or hang on this one if it's doing well. Like, I'm able to like do this as a career. It's like complaining about Wi-Fi being out on an airplane. Really? Like you're flying, through the sky.
In the
like
air.
You're
lucky that you have like. First of all, the fact that we're even up here.
Shout out Louis C.K. for that one. That was totally.
Look at you taking. Yeah. I love it. Take that material, but at least you give credit, right? That's what it's all about. Always give credit when you snatch somebody's stuff.
Yeah, their stuff.
Right. Every once in a while, I have to catch myself, even when we're up here. I'm a swearer. I swear.
I am too.
So obviously, Judah Holiday, we got an album coming out in November. I saw November 5th.
It's possible that that's correct.
Okay. At the end of the day, you'll have it by Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But November 5th. I got the thumbs
November
up from
5th.
the audience. So
it
November 5th, it's coming out. We don't know what it's called, but it doesn't really matter. It's going to have great music on it.
It totally
Do you have
is.
a favorite track off the album?
Yeah, a track called Sunshine in the Room.
Oh.
It's a love song.
I like that title.
Yeah.
That makes me happy. It already put a smile on my face.
Really? Okay.
So come November 5th, that's the first one I'm going to listen to.
All right.
Sunshine in the Room, you said, right?
Yep, but it is also out.
It's out.
Yeah, it's one of the fourth singles.
I don't even
2
have to
days
wait
ago
for it.
dropped.
Okay,
Yeah, you
well,
could hear it. Maybe I'll even play it.
I can play it now. Hey,
Right.
I can add it to my Fall 2020 playlist. Now, speaking of Fall 2020 playlist, what songs are you listening to aside from your own? Do you listen? I mean, you said you're a fan of music, so.
Okay, so I listen to Lauv.
Yes.
I listen to Matt Carney.
Okay.
And I listen to Gavin DeGraw. Mm-hmm. I listen to Kevin Rudolph.
Yes,
I
you
also
have a track
listen,
with Kevin.
I do, yeah. I also listen to like Halsey, Coldplay, but then I'll listen to like Stevie Wonder.
Yes,
And
honey.
like that. I don't know what the band. So there's a song called "The Rubber Band Man." I don't know what band sings it, but I listen to that like when it's time to go on stage before, and like. Just like Backstreet Boys and Sync, just like, come on, everyone listens to them. You know that.
Whether they admit it or not,
Right.
they definitely do.
They're just so good.
They are.
Just like everything, whatever. Like, like I listen to like tropical house instrumentals, like when I'm trying to like get into like a zone or whatever. But I would say that the majority of the stuff that I listen to is like acoustic, piano based, highly melodic stuff.
Gotcha. I like it. I like it. I feel like we grew up at a great time.
We did.
When we had just the most amazing music. And I'm very similar to you. Like, if you went through my playlist, you'd be like, it'll be Motown.
Right.
Then I'll have a little Mark Anthony in there.
Yeah.
I don't speak Spanish, but I will rock out to a Mark Anthony album, let me tell you, and pretend like I know all the damn words. Yes, I will. Maluma, J Balvin. Then I'll throw in, like you said, a little Halsey. Then I might have some Cardi B.
Right.
Drake. Comment. So yeah, I feel like we're in that space where good music is good music and people connect in different ways, and just being, music genius. Apple was on it when they did that. Like, hey, you like this? Try this.
Yep.
And you'd be like, how did that even happen?
Right.
But now I have a new favorite artist. So it's good stuff.
Totally.
So I like you, Judah.
I like you too.
And I'm glad that you live here in Miami now. Although I don't know how you could say that it has lessened your anxiety. Traffic in Miami stresses me the F out.
I know, they do. It does. It does, but it's not like the Henry Hudson Parkway, like the West Side Highway.
No. Well, did you drive in New York?
Yeah, I would drive.
Oh, my God.
It's
Why?
Because I lived, like, in Riverdale, and, like, I didn't want to always take the subway. I was a little bit of...
First of all, biker bars.
I went to school in Brooklyn.
Biker bars, and you drove in New York City.
I know. I'm off.
Risky
That's
business,
why I'm
buddy.
here, because, like, I'm not,
I'm just telling you, those are two things where you are putting your life on the line on a daily. Like, bro, cab drivers in New York City are
they're not.
crazy pants.
Totally.
So anyway, you're here now. Do you have a favorite thing in Miami? We're going to wrap this up, but I want to get your take on Miami.
What I love about Miami is that everything, like anywhere you go, it's just like very homey and like welcoming. You know what I mean? Like it's like obviously has like a Latino vibe, and that culture is so welcoming that like I just feel like anywhere you go, you could just like walk in, you're accepted. Like I really like that about it. It doesn't feel like cliquey.
What about the music? Like, I mean, the vibe in Miami is so kind of centered around, like you said, that Latin culture, but the music and the energy of music and dance and all of that, has that helped inspire you?
Yeah, I mean, I see people doing things that I've never heard before and like seen before, and it just shows that like the fact that we are now in a place where releasing music is so easy and readily available to anybody that people are actually, I think, lowering their guard a little bit and releasing more stuff, whether it's 100% ready or not. Like, and doing certain things.
Taking chances.
Yeah, like I slipped in a few vocal takes on like the worst mic ever and just like dropped it in the background just to be like, yeah, that's there and like nobody knows, just to prove like, so like I think it's a great place to be, and I'm happy that I'm definitely at this point a Floridian.
Did you really just do that?
I think
As
so.
a New Yorker, you called yourself a
Openly.
Floridian? I'm dead.
Oh, I thought you were going to do a foot 5.
No, mind blown once again. I never thought I'd see that day that would ever happen. Did you change your license too?
Oh yeah.
The Florida license too. What is your zip? What's your area code on your phone?
305.
Okay. Well, at least you got a 305. If it had been a 786, I would have said you
God.
should have stuck with the 917. Boo. All right. Well, Judah, thank you so much for sliding through the New Hits 97.3
really nice.
album out. I would tell you the name, but we don't know it yet. November 5th. Just throw Judah Holiday in whatever platform it is that you stream on or you go to for music, because there will be a ton of great stuff there. Sunshine in the Room is already out now. So we're going to check that out as soon as we wrap this up. And Judah, hopefully we'll have you back soon.
Thank you so much. It was great.
Thank you for keeping it locked to the New Hits 97.3, Miami's new number 1 for all the hits.